Hey, so yeah, this is the Crowding the Fantasy League Week 5 recap and Week 6 preview. Yeah, so we've got myself, Matthew, we've got Thomas, we've got Adam, we've got Nathan, all four of us on for the first time in a while. Yeah, well, we start with the way we normally start. We'll go to the Fantasy A&E and then we'll do waivers on the show for a change. But we'll go to Fantasy A&E with Thomas to start.
Sounds
You
good.
know what? Actually, Fantasy A&E is pretty light this week. There wasn't too much happened that around the league, so we actually had, mainly because everybody else is probably injured. That's possibly the reason why it's so light. But let's give you a quick recap. All right, so fancy A&E. Here we go. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray briefly left Sunday's game with a foot injury, so keep an eye out for that one. Detroit Lions wide receiver Khalif Raymond neck was ruled out against the Bengals. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy was downgraded to questionable for today's game against the Jags. LA Chargers running back Omarion Hampton ankle, that's a big one, did not return against the Commanders. Hampton was seen wearing a walking boot on his left ankle following the game, so keep an eye on that one. Minnesota Vikings quarterback Carson Wentz left shoulder re-entered the game, but that might be one of those things that comes back. But he did sort of get that sort of nice win there as well. And then New England Patriots running back Antonio Gibson was ruled out with a knee injury in Sunday night's game against the Bills. Doesn't matter because we stuffed them anyway because Bills suck. And New York Giants wide receiver Darius Slayton left the game in the fourth quarter as well. So keep an eye out on those injuries. That Omarion Hampton one is a biggie.
That Antonio Gibson one has been upgraded to a torn ACL. I think Adam was going to say the same thing. So he's done. Yeah.
He's done. He's out for the season. You know what? Here we go. If you've got Henderson or Hendrickson or what's his name?
I don't think the Patriots know that they have Henderson. You might want to write to them.
Yeah,
Henderson has slept with Vrabel's wife, and that's why they're not playing.
There's something. There's something that's unbelievable. I'll show you the starts and sets later, but there's you'll notice the Henderson one is quite obvious. It's quite obvious. But yeah.
Can I get that? Thomas, is Jennings still out this week, or like I just want to know that?
Yeah, he was out the game. He was out. He was ruled out Wednesday. So.
Is he expected to miss the next game as well? Because I have a feeling he might be an auto sub for that game too.
I have no idea.
I think he's been an auto sub each one of the last 3 weeks for Andy, which is an interesting one. We'll definitely have to revisit the whole auto sub thing. To be honest, I haven't even. It's one of those rules I don't even notice until it actually crops up. Until I'm playing Andy, I don't notice it because nobody else uses it.
Until we're all bitching about you at it and be like, "What the hell, Commissioner? When did this come in? Who's using this? What a dickhead!" That was literally us.
Yeah.
With waiver wires being so light, I did actually pull together some fancy winners and losers.
Oh yes, I want to hear this.
5.
Go for winners and losers.
Yeah, so fancy winners and losers. They may not be the best or the worst in their positions. A lot of them are, but it's just some people that are just they bad, or as Cam Ward said, they ass.
They ass.
They ass. So a couple of winners. CJ Stroud finding out his breakout game, getting 28 points, 240 yards, 4 TTs. He was winning fantasy matchups. He was bang mediocre the rest of the season. He hadn't broke 15, 16 points, so he has done well that one. For all those fantasy people paying attention to injury reports and waiver wires and, those geniuses like myself who played Rico Dowdle, he managed to get 30 fantasy points at 234 yards and 1 TD, so he absolutely smashed it. Thank you. And then finally, Jamar Chase, he had his breakout game. Now, if you traded for him and you traded a bag of peanuts for him, or you held on to him and you kept playing him because you're like, he might be good, I put a first round pick on him, you finally got a little bit of a cash in because he got 26 points, 110 yards and 2 TDs. So he actually had a breakout game. And then fantasy losers. Now, these guys suck. Geno Smith. Retire, dude. Just give up. Just hang it up. 7.92 points, 228 yards, and 2 interceptions. I saw those interceptions. They were.
Yeah, he's going to get benched.
And this one actually really hurt me because I played him in a lot of leagues. Amari Demercado. You can go fuck yourself. 6.1 fantasy points. He rushed for 81 yards. He fumbled a 60-yard TD before the end zone, and because he lost possession, it counted as 2 points against him. So what was going to be sitting on 20-odd points for the matchup, he's now sitting on 6.1 like a bell end. And then finally, the fancy losers, Zach Ertz, 1 target, 0 receptions for bang on 0 points. Dickhead.
I hate to
Fancy
rub
winners and
salt into
losers.
I hate to rub salt into
This
the
is
wound,
this
Thomas,
is not a family friendly kind of
of an
segment.
already very, very angry person there because of Tim Mercado. But that was going to be a 71-yard touchdown, I believe, not a 60-yard touchdown. So it would have been
Oh
another
god, that's
1.1
even
I think
worse.
that would have been
That's even
13.1
worse.
points. My goodness.
13.1 points on top of his.
Uh,
I've got a funny one. I've got a funny.
Going ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, I've got a funny one on the Dowdle front. So my like promotion relegation kind of UK fans league that I'm in, I'm doing terribly in it this year. So I'm 0-4. But I had Rico Dowdle, and so somebody posted in the chat going, losing against an 0-4 team because of Rico fucking Dowdle wasn't on my radar. I can't lie. I was like, that's me. So yeah, I did destroy him this week, all because of Rico Dowdle. So,
So you're
Pretty good, like-
you're a fantasy genius like Thomas then.
Yes,
that's
that makes
it.
sense. Yeah,
You
considering
guys.
who picked. Yeah, no.
I think I have Dowdle in 2 leagues. I think I held him in 2 leagues as well.
You're twice the genius I am. Oh god,
Brilliant.
you know what? And then
I am losing that other matchup though, but that's besides the point. The rest of my team's ass.
there was a lot of passion in those fancy losers, and as you can tell, a lot of those fancy losers, they affected me personally.
Yeah,
They're
you
on
could,
yours.
you could hear that in your
On my
voice, you
team.
could.
You were 5 for
That
6
hurt
at
0
one point, Thomas, weren't you, for this week?
I'm actually still 5 for 6 on my fantasy league, I believe.
Unbelievably.
Very
Nice.
good. Very good.
Yeah, actually, no, 4 of them are pretty much a lock. They're saying I've got like more than 90% chance to win. I think Crowd in the Mic NFL is the only closest one, and I've only got a 72% chance to win that one.
Who's the guy to beat you this week in the fantasy league you're losing?
Shit, he's a Jets fan. God. Well, I suppose he needs to get any bit of joy from wherever he can get. So, let's let him have it.
Any sliver.
Any slither of hope. God, I'm
Nice.
going 1-4. That is terrible.
Right. I
Nathan,
have waivers for this week, but my goodness, it is slim pickings on the waiver wire. So let me do a quick rundown. So at the quarterback position, I have Matthew Stafford, who's owned in 60% of leagues, is a fantastic streaming option this week, as he has the Baltimore Ravens, who just made CJ Stroud look like a superstar. And he's already the QB5 on the season. He's got a couple of great receivers. So he's a fantastic pickup this week. Turns out that the number one running back in Arizona isn't DeMarcado. It is Michael Carter, who had 23 touches, including 18 carries this past week, five catches, and had 73 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So he was picking up tons of points. If he continues to be the between the tackles runner, he's a good pickup. He's only owned in 59% of leagues. At tight end, we're going to skip by wide receiver because it's a bit of a deep dive. But tight end, AJ Barner has seen good targets the last couple of weeks for the Seattle Seahawks. Saw 7 targets and had 7 receptions this past week for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's had 3 touchdowns over the past 2 games. And he's only owned in 3% of leagues. So if you're struggling at tight end, why not go out and grab Barner? And I say the wide receiver is a deep dive. Ryan Flournoy of the Dallas Cowboys, many people might not know, had 9 targets and 6 catches this past week for 124 yards. Okay, it was against the Jets. And okay, CeeDee Lamb is returning. But if you're in like a 14 or 16 team league, why not just throw something at Ryan Flournoy? He's owned in 0% of leagues.
0%.
0% of league.
0%.
That is a deep dive. Like,
Why throw in? I know he was against the Jets. Like, that's just going to hurt me there. Like,
because the Jets are like statistically the worst against wide receivers at the moment. So I mean, what happened to Sauce Gardner? That's my question to you, Adam. What happened to Sauce Gardner?
he's just lost it, hasn't he? He's just not there. Apparently, I was hearing today that they're open for trades for him. Whether he's just lost his head with new coach coming in, maybe he just doesn't get on with him. Maybe he lost a love for the franchise. Did he ever have one? I think he did because he was playing well for the previous years. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest surprises of the season so far is how much he's fallen off a cliff. 0 turnovers, 3-5 games. That's part of my my fantasy news and stats this week. I'll delve into a wee bit more. But
let's just go to your news and stats thing because that's a great place to start it. I was thinking that same stat.
Maybe you knew this already. I bet you probably didn't. Turnovers were invented in 1933, guys. So yeah, this is relevant. The Jets are the first team since 1933 not have a turnover in the first 5 games of the season. The first team ever since turnovers were created.
Yeah,
Let's
they
talk
didn't
about
actually have a name for that
bad.
stat. They didn't have a name for it.
Let's just talk
Well,
about how bad
why
that
do they call them
defense.
turnovers? Like that's what I want to know. Yeah. Say why do they call them turnovers? That's what I really want to know.
Well, according to according to Dan Hansis, he thinks it was just somebody was looking at an Apple turnover on a
Yeah.
windowsill at a point. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Going back to
Yeah. I was listening to the
1933.
Heat the Call pod.
Yeah, but yeah, that is I just thought that's an insane stat, and especially being a Jets fan, like that was really, really tough to hear. But so yeah, statistically, turnover wise, the worst defense there's ever been since 1933. But not in terms of points conceded this season. The Ravens top that stat with 35.4, which I'll get onto at a point could be close to an historic number. The Jets are 31.2 points conceded through on average through 5 weeks. That is second, so it just shows how bad that Ravens defense is for points conceded. But anyway, and then next one, just start from game of the week for me. I just took a couple of stats I found really, really interesting. You've maybe heard these as well. Seahawks Buccaneers game. The stats between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were simply astronomical. Baker Mayfield now is the first QB in history to throw over 375 yards in a game and throw less than 5 incompletions in that game. That against that defense is a phenomenal stat. That he is
Crazy.
potentially the man. Sam Darnold from that game, 28 of 34, 341 yards thrown, 4 touchdowns, loses the game. Baker Mayfield, 29 of
I just
33.
find it wild. They were in the same draft and they were drafted by what the Browns and the Jets back in the day, and then it's
Yeah,
just like it went down and is all the way back up.
and just
Unbelievable.
I
look
genuinely
at
think they're counting their blessings. They're happy with the way that, well, maybe not Baker and his family finances, but yeah, everything else seems to go on pretty well for him.
Harsh. Harsh.
but it's just
Sorry,
it's
Adam. Yes. Yes.
it's very strange. Like they were rejects not so recently from other franchises, both from the Panthers, I believe, rejects from them. And look at what they're doing now. A lot of people were talking going into this season, like, is Sam Darnold an upgrade to Geno Smith? A lot of Hawks
Yes.
fans were worried about that, and because Geno was playing pretty
Yeah.
well.
I just
Yes.
heard.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think there's any doubt over that. The Seahawks are potentially one of the best teams in football, even after that loss. But yeah, that Baker Mayfield stat really came out for me. The first QB in history, 375 plus yards and less than 5 incompletions. Not an interception against that defense. Phenomenal. Then this is a niche one I heard. The Broncos were 1 for 112 when down by 14 points on the road before going in to that fourth quarter against the Eagles. So they're now 2 for 112. That is how unlikely.
2 for 100. 2 for 113, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
But yeah, that's how unlikely that comeback was. And then I'll just run through a couple of stats from that as well. Leads on to the Eagles. Interesting from that, like through the first 4 weeks, the Eagles were averaging 251 yards on offense, which is the fewest by a 4-0 side since 1940. I thought it was strange, like 17 points just scored. They couldn't really score again in the second half there, as they couldn't against the Buccaneers the previous week. They were one for 8 first downs on drives in the second half, -1 total yards. Yeah, and that is the fewest yards per game for a 4-0 side offensively since the 1941 Giants. So that Eagles side, who a lot of fans thought were the best side in the NFL, really probably not. I think you'll see in some power rankings they may start to dip down. They'll probably hold close to the top, if not at the top in a lot of power rankings. If that trend continues, you could see them slip down pretty gradually over the next couple of weeks, I would say. I don't know what you
If the
guys
Bills
think.
hadn't shot themselves in the foot, Adam, if the Bills hadn't have blown it, then
Would
they
have
would
been
be
the best side.
undisputed number one. But there you go. But
Well,
even the
yeah,
Bills
they-
haven't looked amazing through 5 weeks. Like, it's been a weird season so far. I think every team's still working it out. The Patriots, that was a big statement win.
Yeah.
always going to happen. No doubt.
That's what I was thinking. Drake May showed up in that game.
Mm.
Like that's something that I was thinking actually, because I have him in a couple of leagues. It really shows you that playing well and playing well in fantasy are two completely different things, because his fantasy performance was not good. but his performance on the field and the amount of yards, like what did he get, like 300 yards passing as well? But it just doesn't translate to fantasy points because he didn't rush the ball, he didn't score touchdowns, but he looked really good.
You'd rather have
Yeah.
Justin Fields on your fantasy team, Drake May on your actual team.
Yeah, this is. Did you see Drake May's play on that last drive against the Bills?
That
The
last
stiff
throw.
arm and then like pinging it at your Diggs, unbelievable. What a play!
I think Drake May was
That's a Josh Allen play.
This, yeah. Well, talking about him fantasy wise, he was a number 4 QB after week 4, going into week 5. So maybe it's just a
Yeah,
one-off game
yeah.
where he's not getting those fantasy points.
No. I mean, like, yeah. Like the touchdowns will come, obviously, but it just not in that game against the Bills. It's just one of those things. But he played really well.
Yeah, tight division rivalry. Division games can maybe skew fantasy points in certain weeks. Like Drake May was 82% pass completion the previous week. It was against the Panthers, but he was near perfect passer rating as well. Translated pretty well fantasy wise the week before. I'd probably stick with the guy, especially on the winning side at the moment. Yeah, already gave that turnover stat. Another thing I found interesting was like looking at this Ravens side. Got a couple of things for the Ravens side. So in terms of their playoff aspirations, they're 1-4 currently. Statistically, what would you think their chance would be starting 1-4, making the playoffs? I'd say this to Thomas, so Thomas isn't allowed to. Isn't
Percentage wise, or like how many teams have done it?
Percentage wise, what would you think?
1-4. How many 1-4 teams? 0-3 is quite low.
I'll give you a clue. Since 1970, 253 sides have started 1-4. How many of them have made the playoffs? I'll just give you
I don't know.
a starting figure there.
I'll go like 6%. I feel like it's low, but it's not like rock bottom.
That is pretty remarkable. It's 5.9.
Hey,
Very good, man. That is pretty phenomenal. That is just that's unbelievable.
What are the
14
chances of him picking that
Sorry,
answer?
15 of the 253 sides since 1970, which is 5.9%. So, Matthew, you're almost right on the money there, 6%. But it's just to show, like, if you're a
There you
Ravens
go.
fan, you're looking at your fantasy hopes your playoff hopes and dreams probably going down the drain, especially if Lamar Jackson misses one more week, which he's maybe predicted to miss. They're probably going to wait until the bye week, after the bye week, to bring him back. Would you even bring him back? But
Yeah.
like Joe Burrow will.
I mean,
Joe Burrow come
even
back?
still, I think there's a chance he's going to get the wild card. Joe Burrow is not coming back this year.
No, he's not. Like if they tie unless they're close to playoff contention, like Joe Burrow's not going to come back. Lamar Jackson, I was exaggerating about Lamar Jackson. Of course, he'll come back after the bye week, but just saying, if you go into the bye week 1-5, are you ever going to make the playoffs? Probably not.
So Adam, funny, like jumping off the back of that, I've just Googled the Ravens Super Bowl odds. So you're saying like 5.9% chance to make the playoffs at 1-4. Currently, the betting odds have them as a 14.3% chance to win the Super Bowl this year. So that's
Which is
interesting.
absolute madness.
As a win or make it to the Super Bowl. Yeah, 14.3% chance to win the Super Bowl. They're plus 600. So yeah. High chances to win the Super Bowl, not high chances to make the playoffs. Interesting.
That just doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
No, but
Like they are probably going
people
to
are still quite high on.
like they're playing the Rams this week, potentially without Lamar Jackson,
Yeah,
against the quarterback that has the most throwing yards in the NFL. A 3-2 Rams side, a very good 3-2 Rams side. So they're probably going 1-5. So I wonder what the odds will be on them winning the Super
they
Bowl.
need Lamar. Like they need Lamar. They can't win that game with Cooper Rush. Like I don't know.
Geno Smith we were talking about earlier as well. I thought this was pretty interesting. So you're talking about Geno Smith being garbage, Thomas. You would be right. The Geno Smith is garbage at the minute. He has thrown 9 interceptions in 5 games. That is the most by a Raiders QB through the first 5 games since 1982. 43 years. Can you name me the quarterback, guys? If you know this, Matthew, after guessing 6%, I think you know everything about the NFL. So you know who the quarterback was at that point for the Raiders?
Wait, what? When was this?
1982.
So I was 1982. Who was the quarterback? No, I don't know. Unless it was Staubach. I don't know. Or Staubach. I don't know.
It wasn't. It was was Jim Plunkett. So there's some knowledge for you
Plunkett.
guys.
Sorry, Plunkett.
Jim
What a
Plunkett,
name.
43 years ago, was the last quarterback for the Raiders to start the season. 5 games, 9 interceptions. The last NFL QB to have 9 interceptions through the first 5 games was the New York Jets' Zach Wilson in 2021. So it's just the heartache of being a New York Jets fan over the years, just to highlight that all the bad stats just come back to us eventually. Yeah, there's definitely another one I have about the Jets, which I could lean on now. I'm just trying to figure
Are
out
there
where
any
it
good
is. I'll
stats
get
about
to
the
it.
Jets?
I'll get to it eventually. Oh yes, I don't even need to look at it. I've just remembered it. Another interesting stat: the Giants conceded 5 turnovers in 5 straight drives. There, and the last team in the NFL to do that was, you guessed it, the New York Jets in 2016.
You.
It's not coming up
Thomas had a
in New York,
Thomas had a
unfortunately.
good question there. Is there any good stats about the Jets?
We nearly made the playoffs, like 11 years ago. That's a good stat. We went 10-6. We went 10-6 that season, and statistically, we had an 87% chance of making the playoffs with that record, and didn't.
Where are they in your current power rankings, Adam? Where would the Jets land in your
They
current
were
power rankings?
Oh, that's a painful question.
after week 4, they were 28. I gave them some hope, but they're absolute rock
28.
bottom. They are absolute rock bottom after week 5.
You
Now,
can't be
Monday night football is still to happen, so the Jags could get beat 100-0 and plummet to the bottom, but I don't see that happening.
Would
But
still
yes,
be a 3-win team,
they're
even with
rock bottom.
100
How could I not put them rock bottom? They're the only winless team. If the Titans couldn't have just stayed winless, the Saints couldn't have just stayed winless and stayed down there with us. No. They had to go and get wins, and we had to just not get a turnover, give up 37 points, and just let Dak Prescott do what he wanted. Yeah, it was good fun to watch. Anyway, yeah,
That's
New
it.
York.
Just bend over and let him have his way. That was very nice. Yes. Lovely.
But another tough team to support at the minute is one they've highlighted is the Cincinnati Bengals. So sympathy to Cincinnati
Bengals.
fans. Hopefully they have our sympathy for me as a Jets fan. Any Bengals fans out there? Since Joe Burrow has went down, this
They
isn't
don't.
including the Jags game, which they somehow won, Matthew. That must really, really, really hurt.
No.
But they have been outscored 113-37 in the 3 games. 13-37. Let that sink in. That
I'm
really.
surprised they've scored. I'm surprised they've scored 37 points, but I suppose they scored 24 against the Lions, and
They did. Yeah, they scored 3 against Vikings.
they were
10
terrible in the first 2.
Yeah, and it's just to put it even more heartache. This is just a Jets segment for me. I'm sorry, just apologies because Jets are that terrible. No teams ever made the playoffs being starting at 1-5, by the way. So the Jets aren't making the playoffs
Hey,
again.
that's a 0%. Oh wow!
They could be the first, so they could be the first.
I could be the first. Yeah, Nathan's got a good point.
Yeah, Justin
they could be
Fields
the
was
first.
quoted saying there is a first time for everything, but it won't be this. Don't Matthew, can you look up the bet odds on the Jets winning the Super Bowl? They probably won't even give it. They'll just laugh. It'll be like a laughing emoji.
My goodness. No, it's like, why would anybody bet on this?
They actually might not let you for responsible gambling.
Oh, it's offering me a £30 free bet. They're plus 50,000. But they're only the 26th ranked. But that was 2 days ago, so they're probably worse now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bound to be the bottom. Anyway, just another couple of quick ones before I move on, because you guys are probably getting bored of me trying to be stato here.
pretty good,
The Eagles' one designed run in the second half, like one actual designed run, is madness. Wherever you have a team with Saquon Barkley, 6 rushing attempts the whole game against the Broncos. I found those stats interesting for any Eagles fans out there looking at it. You're going to have Barkley getting pissed off as well as AJ Brown, so way to piss off all your weapons. Then the Ravens defense, just done a bit of research into it because I just thought this defense is awful. Like conceding 41 points against the Texans, it just really highlighted. So I looked it up. The Ravens are currently, so the record amount of points conceded per game was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976. Just became a franchise, 35.8 points a game. It's huge. What do you reckon the Ravens, without counting up all their points, just rough guess, how many points are they conceding a game at the moment?
Who are you conceding? The Ravens?
The Ravens, on average per game.
Had you not told us earlier? I feel like this is a cheat. 35.4?
Yeah. So obviously I have said earlier,
Yeah,
but
I think you.
point
You told us.
but point four of a point, like they're on to be history makers potentially at this rate. Like what has happened to that defense? I know they've got some
Yeah, they're
injuries,
Swiss
but
cheese.
that's ridiculous. And as I
Did you
said
hear
earlier, like
the crowd?
that's 31. Sorry, 31.2. I said earlier it's 31.4 for the Jets, but you're talking a 4-point difference between first and second there. And yeah, the
Did you
Ravens
hear
are
the
all.
crowd booing Harbour?
Thomas was just chirping in there. What's up?
Did you hear
What's
the
up, Thomas?
crowd booing Harbour as he was leaving the stadium?
Booing Harbaugh. Yeah, I think
Oh, were they?
they're quite done with. Yeah, they're kind of
They
done with
were. Oh my
John
God.
Harbaugh now.
The abuse he was getting was, I mean, Lamar Jackson saved his career at the
Oh,
Ravens.
definitely. If you
Like,
think of where the Ravens were at that point, that
yeah.
it was pretty much touch and go, and then Jackson takes off. But yeah, if they miss the playoffs this year, he might be gone.
Yeah.
But if they
I'd
win
say
the
so.
Super
If
Bowl,
your
then he'll
fans are
definitely still
booing
be
you,
there.
well,
So yeah, odds on.
anyway, Ravens also conceding 408.8 yards a game. Like any team conceding over 400 yards a game is just not going to win any football games. That is still way behind the 2012 New Orleans Saints, who have the record of 440.3 yards a game. So at least they're not that bad.
Yeah, but they were scoring a lot of points, weren't they?
They were, yes. They were.
That was the Drew Brees Saints, wasn't it? Just like bombs away, aerial attack every game for, they were winning games like 50 from like every week. Yeah, fair enough. But you can't do that without Lamar Jackson.
You cannot.
Cool. That was fact corner. Enjoyed that. Feel like you're going to come with fresh facts every week now. That's just going to be your notebook of
So many
facts.
notes. So many notes. So many notes. Yeah, I think the last thing I wanted to talk about, and then it's like all use free reign, was saying to Nathan about like looking up McCaffrey, just the stats he's kind of on for. So currently, if you're looking at it, he's had 39 catches for the year. It was not more the receiving stats because it just looks phenomenal. Like after the game against the Rams, he was the third highest receiver in the league with 387 yards, which piqued my interest. He's 39 catches on the season, which if you go through a 17 game season would lead you to 133 catches. That would break his record of 116 catches for a running back in a season. Now that was 16 game season, but even if you're calculating it with 16 games, it's 125, which would still beat it anyway. And then the receiving yards. So the record is by Del Shotner, who played for the Rams in 1958. He had 1,097 receiving yards in a season. McCaffrey was up there in 5th and 15th with over 1,000 yards. And then I think it was 943, something like that, or close to that. But he's on currently for 1,316 yards if he keeps going at the same rate, which would break the record by 219. That's a 17 game season.
Yeah, that's easy.
Your guy, Del Shotner, done it in a 12 game season. But yeah, it is crazy, crazy stuff. If you are looking at him for overall fantasy points with the trend of touchdowns, he's having receiving yards and rushing yards, 462.5 points for the year potentially. The record ever is LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006 with 481.1. Now, that would be with a game more than Tomlinson, but if you take it away, he would be 441 points, which would be 7th all time for a running back, fantasy wise. If you take it with the 17 games, he would be 3rd on the list all time. Do you know who's 2nd on the list all time?
Second on the list, non-quarterback. Second on the list, fantasy points all time.
Second all time running back, fantasy wise, since the stats started.
I know that you almost picked him first overall in our first ever league. I think he had an incredible season. I think Jamal Charles had an incredible season, but I'm not sure if he's there. I know he had like a ridiculous week that year that he scored like 60 points.
What about?
So he might be my guess, Jamal Charles. But
I'm gonna say Adrian Peterson. Did he not have like an absolute breakout season?
He had a crazy season, but still not the same kind of yardage.
None of those guys are
You
in the
said
top. Jamal Charles and Adrian Peterson aren't even in the top 10. There's some interesting ones. But number 2, I'll give you one more guess.
One more guess at number 2. Well, give us a position then. Give us whether it's running back or wide receiver. Otherwise, we're flying blind.
It's the number 2 running back fantasy all time.
Running back of all time. Okay.
All right, number 1 fantasy running back all time.
Does it have to have been when fantasy football existed? Like, when are we talking? What era?
You're talking in the last. I'm not going to give you I'll give you a very broad, within the past 40.
In the past 40 years,
I'm not going to give you.
His fancy football been even going on for 40 years?
It's going to have to be somebody like Marshall Faulk.
He's number 3.
Has to be Faulk.
He's number 3.
Because he had a lot of receptions.
He did. He's also number 8 on the list, Matthew, so that was a really good get. Hamilton, you're right. Thomas is 2 times on the list. You knew he was number 1. He's number 5 as well.
Number 1.
Number 10 was
Todd Gurley? No.
Oh, Todd Gurley's a great shout.
Nope. But there was another
incredible season.
There was another Ram running back from 2006 that was in the top 10. Does anybody know who that was?
Oh, wow.
I thought Dickerson, but I'm like, no.
Ram running back from 2006?
How
do I not know that?
2006. You're trying to think back to Madden games now, Matthew, aren't you, with the drills?
Yeah, I'm rolling it back. Sam Bradford at quarterback. What was going on? 2006? No, I'm not going to get it.
It was Steven Jackson, number 9 for the Rams. 13 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, 13 rushing touchdowns and 3 receiving touchdowns that year. 115.7 fantasy points he would have racked you up in a PPR league. Breaking 400, pretty good. David Johnson is number 10 on the list. That 2016 season, that was the year we first started playing fantasy. 407.8 points he would have racked you up. He had 16 rushing touchdowns that season and 4 receiving touchdowns. The man tore it up in fantasy last season. I think I remember Aaron having him.
He was incredible.
Anyway, number two, guys, is Christian McCaffrey for the Panthers in 2019.
You just told. Well, that's true. You did tell us. You pretty much told us that. But yeah, there you go. Cool.
So he would be number 3.
I thought we were guessing everybody not Christian McCaffrey. I thought we were guessing everybody not Christian McCaffrey.
No. I said who's number 2 on the list.
I was deliberately not guessing Christian McCaffrey.
So I'm deliberately not guessing Christian McCaffrey.
Christian Marshall Faulk. I'm giving myself a 10.
You talked about Christian McCaffrey so much. I was like, there's no way. He's not looking for us to say Christian McCaffrey
here. And then I said he would be number 3 on the all-time list. Who is number 2 on that all-time list currently? It's Christian McCaffrey as well. So he'd be behind himself on the list.
Where's Fred Taylor on this list? The Jaguars exist on this list? I mean, come on. I
didn't scroll that far down, Matthew. I'm sorry. I do apologize. Sorry. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey, 17-game season would be number 3 on the list. He would be number 7 if you're doing the 16 games ranking it. But yeah, he's on for a pretty historic season. So very good if you have him in fantasy, guys, which I know I do. 2 of you guys do, don't you?
I've got him in one
league, yeah.
And Nathan, you have him in a league, do you not? No? Wow.
No.
Sorry, guys. Right, let's go and get this wireless charger. You guys not our way. Sorry, that's my stats over. You hear me throwing the book away. My apologies, guys.
That was good.
I hope some of it's stuck.
Yeah, cool.
Oh my God! Look at all those reds turning to greens. Look how good we're becoming at this.
Yeah. Like again, Adam. I don't think you were here last time. Is he alive? Is he there?
He's working out.
I'm here somewhere.
I feel like he's over the top of me. So yes.
I know.
Adam, look at the screen for a second and see all the reds at the top, and they get more green, and they get more green, and they get more green, and they get more green. We are flying.
Nice.
We're over 50%.
There's a big red beside mine. Bloody.
We are well over 50% total this week. We're doing well. So if we draw your attention, Adam's one red there is Travion Henderson. We're holding out for him to have a good game, but it's not happening. Apart from that, Adam was all green. He was kind of close to the line with a lot of the sits, but he made it. Trevor Lawrence, fingers crossed, he's a start, and that turns red tonight.
Also, that Jared Goff one was a close one too.
Jared Goff, and he but he did have 3 touchdowns. Again, this is the whole like he's not a rushing quarterback kind of guy.
Yeah.
Want to highlight a stat that he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, like close to 300 yards, whatever. But he had -2 rushing yards, and that's why he's not a fantasy superstar. Like that was a good week for him, and he's sitting on just 20 points. And Justin Fields had a pretty bad week and is sitting on 25 points. So it's like, who do you want fantasy wise? I missed out on Jackson Dart. I thought he was an absolute like locked in start, and then he just started throwing interceptions and fumbling the ball at the end of that game for some reason. So that was fun. We've got DMPs again this week. Me and Thomas both went Brock Purdy. He didn't end up playing against the Rams, so that's unfortunate for us.
I did
Jordan
check
Mason,
my lineup though and took him out. I didn't sub him.
See, I would have had like a auto sub for Mac Jones, because Mac Jones had a very good game. Quinshon Judkins, I actually had 4 of 7, so I was technically over 50%, although the Brock Purdy one. But anyway, Thomas was he was 4-4-7. Pretty much the same. Me and you, Thomas. The Hunter Henry one, what did I tell you? Nothing to lose. Hunter Henry 5.6. You know, if you benched him, you were right to do so. There's the Justin Fields start. The Bo Nix sit. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid as well. We gave some solid advice on this week, so that was good.
It ought one like that's 0.1.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, 0.1 out there. But yeah, a couple of your starts were egregiously bad, so
yeah,
I'm not going to let you off with them.
So many people said Woody Marks should start.
But if we see our percentages now, as you see, we're all creeping up. Adam and Nathan just short of 50%.
Nice.
Of course, Adam's got Trevor Lawrence to play tonight, so he could be 50% if Trevor Lawrence stinks up the joint. And me and Thomas again, we're both climbing towards 50. So yeah, we're on the bid for 50. That's the
scroll across the left there. Look at the sea of red. Oh my goodness, that is.
Oh yeah, the first week we didn't have a clue who we were starting or sitting, and I don't think any of the fantasy community did either. Trevor Lawrence, what's going on here? Yeah, it was a terrible week. We thought Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard were going to be real deals apparently.
We only picked Jesus, but these are going to lie me some of mine. But Thomas said yes, so he's in my corner.
Well,
I mean, this is something I had thought about doing. We should drop a list of like must starts that we just can't have on the list, because there are quite a few guys now that are just like every week starts that a lot of people
like going like Ibuka or something like that, who wasn't in the top 10 of his position coming into this year, but now is top 1.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I kind of just.
But then it's always healthier for us if we have the no gray areas, because that's where we get into arguments.
I
so many. Yeah,
I think gray areas.
Adam doesn't like gray areas.
Sorry. You don't have to hear for that.
Right. So if we start with Nathan, do you want to start with your QB start sits, and we'll work from there?
Not really.
I think you do.
I am not very confident in mine, because
you got this.
It's so early in the week. My quarterback start, I'm going Jordan Love. So I am, because they're against the Bengals.
Good start.
My sit for quarterback, who I said to start last week, I'm going Justin Fields to sit.
Justin Fields?
What?
Justin Fields to sit? Who are they playing this week?
Against the Broncos.
Oh, that might be a good call, to be fair.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's the London game.
The problem is garbage time, because he always scores a lot in garbage time. So.
Yeah, true. Thomas, what are your quarterback starts and sits?
Well, my quarterback start, I'm going to go for Matthew Stafford. He's playing the Ravens. Need I say anymore? And then my quarterback is very similar to Nathan's, because it's exactly the same. It's Justin Fields.
It's very similar.
It's exactly,
it sounds very similar. So
it's just that Broncos defense is tough. There's time zones.
It's the pronunciation, Nathan. It's the pronunciation.
Yeah, that's
Justin Fields. This is
Justin Fields.
He's going over to the continent. Oui. So yeah. Adam, what about your starts and sits? Quarterback? Oh, very close to your face right now.
Matthew Stafford as well. Just because he's playing the Ravens pretty much, same as Thomas, giving up all those yards. So he'll probably throw for about 350 yards and 2-3 TDs. And then I was kind of tossed and turned on my set, but I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence, and I think I've went with them a few times. But they're playing the Seahawks defense. I know Baker Mayfield just put up pretty big numbers there against the Seahawks defense, but that's Baker Mayfield.
Yes. You can't compare Baker Mayfield and Trevor Lawrence.
No,
You can't have those two in the same breath. Unless you're saying, yeah, both these people are different classes.
Not rising to it. Not rising to it. Right, my quarterback starts and sits. So would you believe that I had written down Matthew Stafford as my start? I'm
Oh,
going to
come
go with it.
on.
I'm going to go with it.
I
did have it written down. I've got it here.
Only an idiot doesn't say Matthew Stafford this week.
Is
I'm
it,
playing him.
is it written in
Yeah,
pen?
I bet he stinks up the place now.
I thought
Is
he
it-
was. I thought he was too high ranked to put in this, so I did. That's my saying.
And my sit, this is a good story behind my sit. My sit's going to be Sam Darnold. We've been talking up Sam Darnold, but the last time he was in Jacksonville that I can remember, he was seeing ghosts while
Nice.
playing for the Jets. So I'm imagining the Jags will come out in their all white gear just to torture him. We'll play Ghostbusters over the speakers and he'll be seeing ghosts. It'll be great.
He thought that was against the Patriots. He saw ghosts.
Sorry, it was actually the previous week against the Patriots, and then we tortured him with the
Yeah.
ghost thing, and he lost against us as well, so it didn't
The
really matter.
Jags defense is
I'm not
actually
gonna
sneaky
lie.
good as well.
The other person I was going to put as a sit, if I didn't pick Trevor Lawrence, was going to be Sam Darnold. It's the Jags defense. Not because he would see ghosts,
Ooh.
but that's an even better reason.
The Jags defense are forcing a lot of turnovers, so if we get them and force a fumble and an interception, then he's going to be struggling to have positive fantasy points anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jump straight into my running back start sits then, just to keep it all on an even keel. I think this guy's taken over now at running back. It's Ja'Cory Crosskey Merritt against the Bears. I'm going to go with him as my start.
Nice.
And as my sit, I'm going to go with, I think the Patriots are being very stingy towards running backs. I'm going to go with Kamara as my sit. It's a risky one. Kamara struggled this past week. He's seeing less of the ball, and James Cook just had a terrible week there against that Patriots defense. So yeah, I'm going to go Kamara. Is this it? Ooh, we'll ignore that one. Jeez Louise.
You want me? So my running backs, my start is actually going to be Michael Carter for Arizona. He had got the majority of those touches, and he looked very productive doing it. My sit is going to be Kenneth Gainwell. I know he's just off the back of that big 30-point game in London, and he's just off a bye week, but that was a fluke, and that Browns defense is very stingy to running backs as well.
Gainwell versus Cleveland. Fair enough. Yeah, I feel like you should avoid Cardinals running backs in general, though. Like, I don't think you've got one right at all this year.
No, not nailed it once.
Who are the Cardinals playing against this week?
I actually
They're
cannot
playing the
remember.
Colts.
Yeah, good question.
Playing the
Oh, it's
Colts.
the Colts. Yeah, they're at the Colts. That will be a toughie. But maybe might be a start. Who knows?
But he's come up from the practice squad. He's going to be fighting for a position.
Yeah. No. True. Right. We'll toss it to Adam then.
I went starting running back, Didal, playing the Cowboys, giving up a lot of points, a lot of yards. You know, their offense is doing brilliant, but they're having to do brilliant to win games. So yeah, I'll go Didal for another big week, 2 in a row. I'm going to sit. I picked him up in the Lomboidi. The annoyance of Matthew. Rashad White for the Bucks versus the Niners would be my set. I know he got 2 TDs there against the Seahawks, good defense, but he only had 44 yards of rushing. His average yards per carry wasn't very good, so I just feel as if that Bucks side is just going to be all pass. So, yep, he's my set.
Fair enough. Nathan, far away.
My start is also Rico Dowdell, so it is.
Everybody thinks that Dowdle's just going to take over even if Chuba comes back.
Yeah, well, I suppose I did write down as long as Hubert doesn't come back, but I think they even said that he's taking some of the workload anyway.
Yeah, he was sort of making more of an impact, and I think even after
Yeah.
that week, you go into more of a committee, don't you?
Yeah.
It could be a committee, but it's just interesting that Dowdle takes over after like Hubbard's been running fairly well. But anyway, yes, sorry, your sit.
Sit is Brees Hall.
All
Sit
is your
Brees
sit.
Hall.
Again, like, they're against the Broncos, like, so it's just
Come on. Don't
Nathan's
sit
doing
in
what
our
I did
players.
week one was like
This is like
Nathan's doing
exactly what
I
you did week
yeah.
one. Horrendous.
Nathan, who's your sit at wide receiver? Is it
Oh, no,
Garrett
I
Wilson?
didn't
Is
go
it
there.
Garrett Wilson?
Hold on, breaking news. Breaking news. We need a siren or something. Breaking news. Just dropped on sleeper there. Breaking. Chargers running back Marion Hampton is being placed on IR with an ankle injury. So there you go. He's going to miss at least the next 4 weeks.
Who do
That
you
is
get
big.
then? Who is the next up in the Chargers depth chart?
My goodness. Because Harris is still out at the moment, is he?
Yeah.
Well, he's out for the season, isn't he?
Well, he's out for the season. Sorry, he's completely
Yeah.
done. Let's see. Chargers.
I'm having a look at their depth chart now.
They might trade for somebody.
They might
Although
have to,
their
yeah.
O-line's a mess. Yeah, their O-line's a mess as well.
Yeah, their second, Hassan Haskins.
Hassan
Yeah.
Haskins. Jeez Louise.
I think you're making a trade there. I think you're going for someone.
Yeah. Let me see. Free agent.
Because they're
RBs.
contenders this year. They know they need to have a running back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah, no, that's...
I reckon
that's not good.
they could reach out, maybe get Stevenson off the Patriots, and Stevenson could lead into Henderson.
Let me see. Abanikanda is the top free agent out there at the moment, so I can't imagine him doing a hell of a lot. Former Jet, Israel Abanikanda.
Oh, you don't want that.
Slim pickings. It's pretty rough.
Just throwing in the fact that he was a Jet, so now he's not going to do very much. It's like a dagger to the heart each time.
Well, Adam, if you can't make the Jets roster, if you can't make the Jets roster...
Actually, you know what? I'm going to back up Adam's point here. No, I'm going to back up Adam's point here because the Jets players do better when they leave the Jets.
That wasn't the point.
It's a toxic environment. That's what you're saying.
No, Adam, that's a really
It's
good
a really
point.
astute observation.
Like,
I like it.
Do you remember the Jets' best defensive player of all time, Darrell Revis?
I do.
And he won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots.
He did.
You
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. He peaked on another team. There's just so many other people.
Oh, that is harsh.
Why did you have to go?
Right. We'll move swiftly on. We'll let Nathan start slandering the Jets some more. Nathan, do you want to give us your starts and sits at wide receiver, please?
Okay, I did actually change this, so I did. I went for Say Flowers.
Say Flowers as your start.
Sorry. Yeah, I messed
So
that
Say
up.
Flowers is your sit.
Sit, yes.
No, we'll have to take your first answer. It's first start.
Yeah,
We're
that's
level
just
on
hard.
49%.
And I bet you this is one of those off weeks. This is one of
My
those off weeks where
starts,
Mayflower gets 40 points.
Thomas will be happy. I went with Stephon Diggs
Ooh, go on, Stefan. Here we go.
against the Saints
Diggs.
this
And
week.
the Patriots are against. Who are they against this week?
Saints.
Saints. That's a nice one. You like to think that that's them, like they built a connection now, and that's just going to be it.
Definitely.
No.
Yeah.
Right. So back to Adam then.
Me and Nathan are just two peas in a pod. You see, like the successful ones doing this. We just
I'm going to
think
do
the
so
same
badly
way.
this week, so.
The two
With their-
50%ers, 49%ers.
Just with their start one here, I actually picked Stephon Diggs from the Patriots against the Saints. Really, really productive game against the Bills there. Seems to be building a connection with Drake May. So yeah, I feel as if he'll have another good game. That Patriots side, 3-2, probably goes over 100 yards. Yeah. My sit is another Jag. Matthew, you're just trying to hate me. It's Brian Thomas Jr. If Trevor Lawrence is doing nothing, Brian Thomas Jr. is doing nothing.
He's rough at the moment.
That is big highlight green for me come next Monday. So yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. is my sit this week.
Right. Love it. Thanks. Right, Thomas.
I have
starts
gone for completely different ones. I've gone for my start. I've got Tedero McMillan, an Panthers wide receiver. They're against the Cowboys. Now, unless they're playing like a terrible, terrible offense like the Jets, the Cowboys put up a lot of points on their defense. Like, unless you are just so inept as a team you can't score against the Cowboys, you're going to get a lot of points. So that's why I'm going for, Tedero McMillan. Next one, my sit. And I think just because I know he's okay, but Marvin Harrison, he's so patchy. I feel like he's had like a couple of good weeks. It's going to go down, sit him. Kyler Murray might be hurt. He drops the ball. He's the Brian Thomas of the Cardinals.
Brian Thomas of the Cardinals. Okay. I like it. Who are they up against this week? Sorry, Cardinals
they're against
again.
the Colts. They're against the Colts.
Yeah, I'd already asked that. Yeah, fair enough. I like that. Start and sit. See that it's not good if like the two 49%ers are on lockstep, that's fine because they're sitting there nearly 50, pretty good. If the two 36%ers are in lockstep, it's not good.
No.
So I did actually have Ted McMillan written down, but I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go Devontae Adams as my start this week.
Good shout.
I think if Stafford's throwing for a lot of yards, I think everybody's starting Nakua, but throw in Devontae Adams, get a couple of touchdowns there as well.
He will.
Against the Ravens, so we'll go for that one. And as my sit, who did I have jotted down as my sit? Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there with you, Adam. I'm more like, being more like even lower down than you, Adam. Travis Hunter, and I think you can sit Travis Hunter until the bye week. I don't think the Jags know what to do with him. There was a quote when the Jags drafted him that we drafted a unicorn, but do we have any unicorn trainers? Turns out we don't have unicorn trainers. Probably in the bye week, we'll go over to London. We'll pick up some unicorn trainers in London, bring them home, work on it over the bye week, and he'll hit the ground running in week 9. But bench Travis Hunter this week. Then I'll jump into my tight ends. So my tight ends start for the week. I did flip flop between a couple. I'm gonna go against the Jets this week. So I'm gonna go Evan Ingram, because I think the Broncos are figuring out how to use him. And Jake Ferguson looked like peak Gronkowski against the Jets. So I think just feed an athletic Evan Ingram the ball in the red zone in particular, and yeah, he could go off in that game. And sit wise, I think Henry kind of showed it there. Like the Bills are really stingy against tight ends at the moment. So Kyle Pitts, if you were thinking of playing Kyle Pitts this week, he was very touchdown dependent the last time we saw him play. I would bench him this week against the Bills. There you go. And then we'll toss it back to Thomas.
Well, my tight end start, I'm just realizing. I've just realized I picked someone who might be on bye week. I don't know how I've done that. Which
Well,
is,
don't do that.
yeah,
Jeez.
that was a terrible shout. I'm gonna go start because I'm doing this on the fly. Hunter Henry, he was tight end one up to last week, and he's just an absolute beast, and he's playing on, if not the best team in the NFL at the moment after absolutely demolishing that overhyped Bills team. You know, my tight end sit, and I'm going to read my notes verbatim that I put down for this. My tight end sit is Zach Ertz. Fuck him. 0 catches. What a dick.
That's that's lovely. That's lovely. So they're against the Commanders against the Bears this week, isn't it?
Yeah, but he got 0 catches last week on 1 target. Like, what is going on in that team?
Cool. Yeah, Nathan, what are your starts and sits at tight end?
And my start is Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft back off a bye week.
Yep, again against the Bengals.
Are they at home against Cincinnati or away?
Oh, I'm not sure actually.
That's fine. I'll just jot it down. It's fine. Cool.
My sit for tight end is Juwan Johnson.
Ooh. Pray tell. Right. What?
He was doing well at the start of the season, but he's kind of dipped. Like the last 2, maybe. I looked at it. So
I actually had him as like a sneaky start, because that Patriots team has not been good against tight ends this year. I think if he's going to bounce back, he'll bounce back there. But could be wrong, because I've been wrong over 60% of the time. Let's see. But it was only 31%. I was only on 31% last week. I'm on 36% this week. So what?
40% of the time, I'm right every time.
I keep going like, I'm going to hit 50% before the season's over. I'm going to do it. This is like one of the worst weeks we've had for game picks. I'm really glad me and Thomas pivoted out of this week completely.
Okay, that's
If you kind of see all the red here, Adam at one point I thought was going to be like 0-7, because these were the first 3 I saw. I was like, Bills over Patriots, no. Eagles over Broncos, no. Seahawks over Buccaneers, no. But he picked it up.
There was quite a few upsets this week, so there was like so.
Yeah, but there were also quite a few like close games, like that Giants Saints and the Dolphins Panthers were both like predicted to be within a couple of points, and for the most part they were quite close. The Saints kind of ran away with that one. The Rams, you would have assumed, would have beat the Niners with what was going on there injury wise, but there you go. The Cardinals over the Titans, again, you assume. But then sometimes DeMarcado drops the ball. Sometimes he doesn't. Patriots with a big win. Broncos with a huge win. Buccaneers with a great win there. And yeah, the Commanders. That was a shock. So There you go. Crazy. Not a lot of green there, but I'm going to clear our listies here.
37%.
What?
Good lord.
What is up with the Adam? I'm on 75%.
I know you're on 70.
Adam, I'm on 75%.
Yeah, you're a genius.
We're just-
Fanjo's on
we're just
78.
gonna-
I am almost the same as a professional betting website.
Right, guys. I want to vote now. Do we appease Adam? Because we're kind of like resetting it this week. Do we go reverse standings order as it is so far? Because Adam's horrendous, 37%.
Yeah, no, he needs the help. He needs
Yeah.
the help.
So we'll give Adam the first overall. 37% on game picks, Adam. That is horrendous. That's so bad.
awful.
Yeah, I'm
Can
doing
I-
pretty
can I-
shocking in the Lomboid
I'm
as well.
second last. I'm second last. Thomas is third last, or second, as they say in the trade. Then Nathan is fourth last or first, as they say sometimes.
I'll pull it back.
Sweet.
Huh?
We're gonna
I'll pull it back. I got this.
clear that. No fail. Right. Well, what's your first pick, Adam? Go on, shock us here with the
I
first
just
overall
can't do
pick.
it. I can't do it against my own team. I just can't.
There's a clear pick to make here on the betting odds, so there is. Like, I mean,
I see.
I've never seen such a split.
I think I know what one you're talking about, and I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go for the Packers to beat the Bengals. I
Yes.
think it's
Do you-
87%.
Do
Chance?
you know what the split is?
When you say
I
when
would
you say
so-
the split, are you talking about?
Are you
the-
talking about the percentage chance
So
or the odds?
let's say if I used to put £100 bet on the Bengals to win, how much would I get back?
Oh,
500.
jeez. Get like a
500.
grand back on that one.
It would turn into 850.
Jeepers.
Oh, close to a grand.
I
on
have
that one.
pretty
That's
much-
fair enough.
If I was to put
I don't know.
£100 on the Packers to win, how much would I get back?
Probably like £100
Like-
and 50p.
Like 25.
Yeah, £108. It's minus
Oh,
1200.
jeez.
Yeah.
I was going to say
is
125 on top of it, so 125. £8?
See,
Yeah, the decimal is 1.08. So that's what they.
You wouldn't even bet on them.
Yeah, there's just no point.
But I get the pick, so can I have the Packers, please?
This will be the week it'll up. Like,
Oh man, this would be the
Come
biggest
on.
episode of the whole time.
and like the weird thing is the Packers lost to the Browns. Packers lost to the
Right. I'm gonna
Browns.
go. You're gonna have ice being cracked in the background, but that's fine.
sure.
So I'm the second overall pick. I'm gonna go Rams over Ravens. I've been talking the Rams up, so why not have the Rams? That changes it a little bit, obviously, if Jackson plays, but I still think the Rams are a good team. I'm still gonna go Rams.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah, and over to Thomas then for the third overall pick.
I am gonna go for. Oh, you know what? It's just got to be this team, doesn't it? Because they're the best in the NFL. I'm gonna go for the Pats to beat the. Oh, where's the game? The Pats to win.
Patriots over
To beat the
Saints.
Saints.
The Patriots to beat the Saints. Yeah.
can.
Did you pick the Patriots without knowing who they were playing there for a second?
No,
Was that
I had it up, but it disappeared. I just couldn't remember who it was.
We're like, the Patriots against whoever. The Patriots
It
against the
doesn't-
Harlem
doesn't
Globetrotters.
matter.
It doesn't matter who it's against. If it's the Saints, if it's the Bills, we're gonna win. They're all the same to us.
What about the LA Dodgers? I mean, I feel like you'd be struggling there, depending on the sport.
LA Dodgers.
So my pick next. I
Yeah.
am gonna go the Broncos over the Jets, of course.
Hold on. I've got to fix this. Actually, I typed this from
Once again, why the of course? Just say the Broncos over the Jets. You don't need.
I
the
mean,
of course.
it's going to be a close game. We're going to be the edge of our seats at the end because it's going to be like a 1 or 2 points in it. But yeah, that's.
Adam, if you were nicer to the Jags, I would have some sort of sympathy. But you have been shitting on the Jags all day, so no sympathy. Right, Nathan. Next pick.
My next pick will be Eagles over Giants.
Eagles over Giants. I'm taking it. This is what FanJoel is saying are the odds on.
Oh yes, big time. There is one that is exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
there
it'd be
is.
interested to see if Thomas can pick it. Thomas, can you see
I
what's going to be the same?
realized that my tight end start that I was gonna pick, which I thought I was on bye week, isn't actually on bye week this week. My original tight end start was gonna be Njoku, but I thought he was on
Interesting,
bye
huh?
week and he's not. All right, let's go for it. I'm gonna go, even though they don't have a running back, the Dolphins just find a way to lose. It's the most impressive thing I've ever seen. So I'm gonna go the Chargers. Like genuinely, it's deliberately impressive how they find a way to lose.
Yeah,
They
I
didn't
had
get
them as
last week.
they were next on my board. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Adam, it's two teams trying to lose. Have you ever seen that South Park episode where they're playing baseball and all they want to do is try and lose the game of baseball because they hate the sport? That was like the Jets-Dolphins game last week.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So it's back with me. Right. What is my next on the board? Next one, I kind of do I want to go with that? Yeah, I think they're playing well enough at the moment to justify it. I'm going to go. Going to go the Cowboys over the Panthers. I think the Cowboys are. Think they're deceptively good team. The Cowboys, even without CeeDee Lamb might return this week as well, which would be ideal.
might.
So I'm going to go with that. Adam, you've got a double dip at the turn here.
I do indeed. Will I shit all over the Jags? That is the question.
Come at us. Come at us. We can take it.
I'm just trying to see what you've picked already. He's at home, so you're at the Saints. I'm gonna go the Colts over the Cardinals. That hasn't been picked yet, has it?
No.
Colts over Cardinals. That's only the second home
I-
team to be picked so far. So that's interesting.
I really think the Colts are far better than people give them credit for. I think they have shown over the past 5 weeks.
People give them credit for.
I think
They're getting so much credit.
absolutely ripped
Ridiculous
apart
amounts
now.
of credit. They're getting so much credit. I've never seen so many flowers being thrown at Daniel Jones in my life.
Well,
Jeez Louise. Right, anyway.
maybe not in this chat, but I certainly don't think they're being put in the circle of contenders that they should be. I think they're they should be very highly ranked, but yes, I'll go Colts. Plus the Cardinals just got beat by the Titans, like good freaking lord. You talk about teams finding a way to lose. Did
So
you
bad.
see the like?
So-
And I think I'll take the Bills at the Falcons. I think the Bills will get back to winning ways.
over Falcons. The Falcons. Right,
I
cool.
think that's my last pick. It won't come back to me again.
That is your last pick. The next one on my board, it gets very, very close, very tight at this point.
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Buccaneers over the Niners, I think, in that one. Buccaneers just seem to be like living a charmed life at the moment. They're doing everything to win in the last minute. But they're
They
really,
have
really
won every one of their 4 games they've won has been with time expired. And
Yeah,
they've
it's
won
incredible.
those 4 games by a combination of 9 points.
Yeah, but they'll continue to do that. I believe in Baker. So fair enough.
How could you not?
Toss it back to Tomas.
I am gonna go for the Bears to beat the Commanders.
Bears over Commander.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that is not the favorite.
Watch
Also,
something? Oh,
that is not
definitely
the
not the
favorite.
favorite. Yeah. Well, there we go. Kurt.
I
Well,
think the
that's
Ben
the
Johnson offense.
near the upset of the week. Near the upset of the
I
week.
think that Ben Johnson offense is starting to click.
Okay. No. I mean, it's a bold strategy. We'll see if it pays off.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
And Nathan, do you want to give us our last, this will be our last draft pick, and then we'll just pick the last 3 games outside of that just ourselves?
Is
Sure,
there not only 2
I'll
games
go
after this?
Steelers over the Browns.
Maybe
No, there's only
something.
2 teams on a bye week this week. Sorry, it's Texans and Vikings are the only 2 teams on a bye week this week. So who was that? Sorry, Steelers over Browns?
Yeah.
Steelers. Yeah, Browns decided not to take the bye week after the London game, which is always an interesting
That's
strategy.
why I thought they were on bye week. I had it really.
Oh, okay.
That's what really had me confused. I was like, oh wait, no, they played in London last week, so they must have had the bye week.
Yeah, so we'll have the other 3 games kind of sitting down here away from our actual picks.
So see,
and we'll just pick these ourselves.
the game that was completely even is the Seahawks and Jags.
Well, I'm not actually surprised, to be honest. Yeah,
I'm not.
That's fair.
I'm very surprised.
Jags are sneaky good.
Seahawks written all over it, guys. Should it be my number 1 pick of the week?
Listen,
Only joking,
I mean,
Matthew.
that's really good. Like, if I want anybody to pick that, I want the guy who's on 37% in his game picks
Yeah.
to pick that.
No, exactly.
feels-
I do. Well, I guess it's hard to pick not knowing what the outcome of the Jags Chiefs game is. Like the Jags could end up beating the Chiefs, and then we could be thinking, "Flip, when are they going to get beat again?" But
We'll vote on it now. Then vote on it now. Nathan has it even, a dead even.
I think
Adam, you're on the Seahawks. I'm on the Jags
Yeah.
side. So Thomas, you're the deciding vote.
Wait, what?
I would take
I
Seahawks.
think it is.
like-
It's going to be incredibly close. It'll be within 1 score.
Did someone not-
It'll be really, really close.
Did someone not pick it on their picks? I thought Adam
No.
picked it.
No.
No,
Oh.
it hasn't been picked. So Seahawks over Jags is the
Do you think
consensus.
Seahawks over Jags? Yeah.
I just here's the weird thing about the Jags. I don't know how they're good. I can't figure it out. I just can't. I don't understand it. Their running backs, meh.
Yeah.
Both their wide receivers who are so overhyped going into this season are worse than meh.
True.
Their quarterback is bang average. And I'm
He's very
sitting there
good.
going, How are they winning? Like, how are they getting points? I don't understand it. But yeah, I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Just another
Yeah.
stat. I love a stat. Bryce Young had a better quarterback rating through 4
Oh,
weeks
my goodness.
than Trevor Lawrence did. Trevor Lawrence is in the company of Cam Ward and Joe Flacco with quarterback rating this season.
Yeah, he has not been good to start the season. I'll tell you that, but he's still a quarterback of a 3-1 team, so let's effing go. So next one then, I suppose. What's the next closest matchup that we can pick there?
What about Chiefs,
Lions and Chiefs is
Yeah.
like
Wow.
there's so little in it. So there's
Oh,
like
my goodness, right?
Once again,
Like,
it's hard to
it's
know.
hard. It's hard without knowing the Monday Night Football result, isn't it?
No,
yeah, that's true.
Going Lions.
I'm gonna
Go Lions.
I'm gonna go Lions based on the power rankings I have. I think I have to go with it on that. But
Go
No,
Lions.
okay. I always like the Chiefs at home, but I will cede to the rest of you if that's the consensus. Is it the consensus, Nathan? Is it Lions on the bet?
By Lions are minus 106 and the Chiefs are 110. Minus
Yeah, so
110. So like
so it is
essentially minimal.
Lions favored. Yeah, Lions favored by like a point, basically. So yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. Lions over Chiefs, and then the last game to pick is one that makes me sick to look at. Titans at Raiders. What a miserable contest that'll be. I'm gonna go Raiders simply because they're at home and they're not the Titans. But you guys can argue the bit out.
On here they have Raiders today, so that'll be mine.
I'm probably still gonna go Raiders, even though they were so bad last week.
They were so bad.
terrible. But they might drop Geno Smith, like they're talking about dropping him, so it could be
But who's
rejuvenated.
Who's their backup? Is it still what's his name?
It's Aiden O'Connell is still their backup as far as I know.
They need to do something to change it up slightly.
I thought it was
At
Gardner
least-
Minshew for a while.
At least in
Where's
any
he?
way.
No, it's Gardner. Is he still out in Philly? I really don't know.
I have no idea.
He might be the backup of the Eagles, weirdly. Yeah, don't know.
But just Cam Ward's getting pressured something like 56% of dropbacks this year, no matter who he plays.
I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in for Raiders.
I think it's Raiders. I would say Raiders as well, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans win that.
I'm gonna say Titans.
That's
Only because-
that's our consent. These are our consensus ones anyway. So
But
these
you
aren't
would have said
important.
Titans.
I would have said Titans, yeah.
But it doesn't matter what you would have said.
I know. But just I know it's on camera now, so that's wrong and I'm right.
Yeah, I need to
60
go and
pages later.
I need to try to get like 4 or 5 hours sleep before watching the second half of the Jags Chiefs game. So, hey.
Nice.
No, that's okay. We'll leave it there. So
I've got the alarm set for 3 a.m. So
flip an egg.
wake up and see. I was surprised at myself this morning. I woke up like just instinctively woke up at like 4 o'clock and flicked on DAZN and saw it was 2017 to the Pats at that point. So I got to see the last 2 drives. I was like, this is awesome. This is really good.
You wake up at 4 o'clock. If you saw an injury, you could have changed your lineup, things like that. You know.
No, Thomas, the games
You know,
were
none of
still
this-
going, Thomas. The games were on.
Can I
couldn't
just
have
say,
changed the lineup.
I chatted to Thomas about this last night. The absurdity of this rule is ridiculous. I had it on my notes from last Monday, 3 days before the game, that Jennings was
Honestly,
going to be out.
Andy's just not. He's
3
just not as savvy,
days.
is he?
I think
He's just not as savvy. You know?
Jennings out. Actually written down in my notebook.
my thing about fantasy football.
Written down
is-
and dated. You actually dated it.
Oh, I know
Whoa.
when I wrote that. It
Whoa.
was Monday.
You-
It was
you
3
know it,
days
right?
before.
It's Adam's.
So the absurdity of this third rule in that league is mental.
It's Adam's argument journal.
It is crazy. I am losing
It
that
definitely
matchup
is.
by about 2 points at the minute. If I lose it by less, 9.4 points.
And you think this is
Goddard.
all because of Dallas Goddard? Really?
It is, yeah.
You had him as a sit as
ridiculous.
well last week, Adam. And you were right to have him as a
Yeah, and I
sit.
was. And I'm still right about this rule. I should be winning that matchup.
I
Chip
don't. I
roll.
honestly,
Stamping all over my fantasy hopes and dreams, Matthew.
if it was any other person other than Andy, I would say you're probably right. But Andy would have made that change anyway.
Then why didn't he?
We would never know.
I don't know. He
We'll
likes his
never know.
auto subs. He likes his auto subs. I mean,
Stupid rule.
He didn't make the change because he has auto sub set up.
yeah,
and
I
then-
think he probably would have checked it and gone like, well, I've got auto sub anyway.
It's like an additional safety net, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it was brought in. It was originally brought in during COVID, and it kind of made sense during COVID because you would get guys
Well,
in
then during
COVID protocol until like
Because
the
I-
last minute. And it did make sense then. You could auto sub like 3 or 4 different players.
Was this always in the league? I never knew this was a rule.
I didn't know this was a rule until
It was in, again, this is somewhere where it should have been altered before the season, but you know the way I just copied all of the rules over from the Dynasty into the league when it went on to Sleeper. So it's a transference.
Is this a rule in Dynasty as well?
No.
It's always been a rule in the Dynasty, yeah.
Oh, good lord.
No, it's not. I think I checked this. It wasn't.
Stupid.
It should be there. If it's not there, I don't know how it's not there, because the only reason it's in the league is because it was in the Dynasty one.
Stupid plopper.
Yeah, unless it's already gone. No, hold on. I should be able to
Where is it?
check now.
Settings. Where's the?
Yeah, it's there. Auto subs in the Dynasty one.
Well, that's ridiculous. That needs.
But the vote will be going up this week, and basically it is one of those rules I never had a problem with back in the day. That isn't really as relevant now, obviously, but it's one of those that helps the people it needs to help. Say you work irregular hours, like somebody that I've had to remind on numerous occasions to change his fantasy lineup, Adam.
Yeah, well.
But that's on him if he doesn't change
it is on me.
You shouldn't be hand-holding as commissioner.
Or if you're going on let's say I've got somebody who's questionable, who's going to try stuff out in warm-ups, and I'm going to be getting on like a 12-hour flight. I'm not going to be changing my lineup on the flight, so I need to set something in place. It helps who it helps, and it doesn't really affect anybody else.
It affects
as much as Adam may think that it
affects
does.
Everyone. The two things that make you win a fantasy football league is having a better team than the other person and being a better fantasy manager and getting all these additional safety nets because people can't be bothered doing things or don't want to take risks or don't want to sub players. Just kills the game. They already they can't join the draft. They already get auto draft. That's enough. That's where the training wheels come off.
I'm one of those kind of guys. Like the amount of leagues I've been in, and the majority of players in the leagues, no matter what you say, the majority of players in the leagues are casual players in Northern Ireland and in the UK, and I'm okay with that. So it's just like, if there's anything there that helps out a casual player, keep them interested in a season, then why not? But we'll put it to the vote anyway. I've never used the tool before because, to be honest, it annoys me not having my lineup set properly. The auto sub thing being there would actually set up something in my brain somewhere. So I might well vote against it as well. But we'll see what.
If you just take it away like right now, so I can win the matchup, would be great.
You can't do it after somebody's used it. Like that's not the way. That's not the way forward. Adam.
That win. Say if I lose by 2 points, I swear.
He would have changed. I guarantee you, he would have changed them anyway. You can ask Andy yourself. You can ask Andy yourself.
We'll never know.
But yeah, no, I guarantee you. And Andy is not, to me, all that casual a manager. He's a very dedicated Bengals fan, so he's having a tough time of it.
He is he's very good at fantasy football, to be fair. He has 2 very good teams.
And we're going to make it tougher by eliminating the third rule.
Again, it probably won't affect him as much as you think it'll affect him. This is the thing with you guys. You guys think this rule is going to affect everybody's lives. It's not. Whether it's there or not, I don't think it's actually going to.
Life.
Hey, I didn't know it was going to affect my life.
Your mind. It got in your head.
I'm not saying these. I'm not like, these rules only affect me when they affect me. I don't, when these things happen in the background, I'm not going to be like
somebody else. It doesn't matter.
Until it happens to someone else, I don't care. And then,
oh my goodness!
I mean, technically, it didn't happen to me, but the thought of that it could have happened to me scared me.
It happened to my friend.
Scared me.
It was just the fact that I woke up and seen 0 points. Oh, he didn't change that player, and you don't want that to happen. But you're secretly
like you wanted that.
No, you don't. You want to go out. I am in agreement with you, Matthew, where you want to play a full lineup. But whenever it does happen, you can't lie. You have a wee smirk. You smile. You're like, my God, how do you miss that? This is going to make the fancy matchup easier, and I needed that win, and it made me feel slightly good. But then my hopes and aspirations taken away from me whenever I see the auto sub.
Yeah, Fergie
God forbid you have to play against a full strength lineup. Yeah. Oh my!
It's part of being a fantasy manager. Thomas has a point.
Going
look at your team. I knew 3 days before that guy's
just go
not
basketball from now on.
Going into this week, I was against Fergie, and he had 2 injured players and 2 players on bye week on his lineup, and I deliberately didn't text him all week. Just in case it would have reminded him about NFL. And I was so pissed when I saw he put 4 players on his team. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah,
Still one of
Fergie will surprise you at the last
Yeah,
minute.
no,
He's done that to me in the
because
past.
He didn't change it for
went
our
to bed.
matchup, so he didn't.
No, I went to bed and he hadn't changed it, and I'm like, he hasn't done this. Fucking idiot. So happy, woke up, he changed it. I was like, I'm still winning.
Thomas, had he not even set an auto sub for it? Like, seriously?
No auto subs.
Amateur hour, really.
I'd
Fergie,
love to hear Fergie's perspective on all of
He would love it,
I
so
would
he
be
would.
interested to hear. I would be
He would
interested to hear
love it.
what leagues still use it and how effective it is, because I haven't really seen the effectiveness.
I was thinking about other scoring changes you could make to a league that might make it a bit more interesting in some positions.
What are you thinking?
So there's two. The defense and kickers. I think defense should start off on 0 points, and they only get points for things they do, as in sacks, interceptions, pick sixes. Like
They don't lose
other
any
player.
points.
They don't lose any points.
Well, I don't know.
Because, like, say for example, if you're playing against an offense and they
Yeah, I can
throw,
make a point.
they throw 3 pick sixes, your defense loses points based on a quarterback. Nothing to do with them being on the team. Or if a punt return, that's a special teams. Things like that. So I think it should only be defensive play. So it starts on 0 and you only get more points. And on the flip side, kickers start on 10 points and they only lose points.
Reverse.
And they only lose points for misses, because kicking scoring really pisses me off. Because it's like someone scored like 35 points, but the kicker's got 4 points or something. I was like, well, what the fuck's he done in that game? Nothing. Kicked 4 field goals.
Well, yeah, but this is
It's still
this is the
something,
whole
like, what?
point. This is the whole point with having
it's
a
like-
good kicker on a team that kicks.
You can't
dunno.
predict it. You can't predict it.
Oh, you
cannot-
can.
This is
And there is
how many
method
times-
to it. There is method to it. You
There
look
is-
at a team that's going to be kicking more field goals rather than scoring touchdowns and getting that
if
point.
there was method to kicking.
Well, the one argument that I see across the board is removing kickers. A lot of leagues will
Yeah.
just remove kickers and add an extra flex spot or whatever.
Oh, really?
I would say either do the 10 points thing. They lose points for missing kicks. That's how they lose points. And unless they kick like a plus 60, then they get points. That's it. And that's kickers. And they will basically stay the same. So it's consistent. But if you've got a bad kicker, the problem is with kickers, if kickers were so predictable as we say, or that good as we say, we would be talking about them more in our podcast. We would be saying, hey, pick this kicker this week because he's got
like
a good matchup.
a start and sit of the week. Yeah,
We would
yeah.
have a start and sit kickers, but we don't, because they're unpredictable and useless.
I have had a vote as to whether we will remove kick. I pretty much have it like every couple of years in the league, and our league likes kickers. Like, the guys in the league like kickers, so they stay in the league.
I think if you
Notoriously.
put it in
voted
again, I would probably vote to take them away. I like the idea of an extra flex spot. Just a wee bit more thought
See,
to it.
The thing is, we've already got the extra flex spot, so we would almost just be removing a kicker at this point. But yeah, I get it.
Do
I
the
get it.
Thomas scoring system.
No, we're not doing the Thomas scoring system. It sounds ridiculous.
It's a great system. Like, the kickers will always get 10 points unless they miss, so you don't pick a shit kicker.
That's your mission
Or-
for next week is to actually get like an acronym for the Thomas scoring system. It's got to have like the THOMAS.
No,
no.
it's going to be called the TPI, Thomas Points Index, obviously.
Oh, right. Well, no, I want like like the Dennis system.
Oh, the
And
Dennis.
and It's Always Sunny. I want something that's like
Honestly,
the benefits of it, or the strategy behind it. Yeah, I'll leave that with you. No, that's for next week. That's homework. Cool beans. Right?
Okay.
Are we? Do we have anything else? Did you have another like question of the week, Adam, or are we? So
Yeah, I think we're done. I think any
Yep.
questions I could have asked you probably fired at you very early in the
I actually have a
the show.
question
No
that
worries.
everybody might be able to.
Okay.
Cool, go for it.
What are the 5 NFL teams that don't have their logo on their helmet? So there's 5
Well,
NFL teams that don't have the full logo on their helmet.
Commander.
The Browns, because their helmet
Yeah,
is the
Browns
logo.
is
They've
one.
just got the stripes.
The Eagles,
Commanders has the W. Yeah, Eagles have the wings. They don't have the full eagle.
Rams,
Rams, they've just got the horns. They don't have
Rams
the
just have
LA
the
Rams.
Rams. Perfect. So how many do we have? Is that 3 we've got?
We've got
3
3.
No, they've got it. Oh, man.
Steelers. Do they have it?
Steelers got it. They've got
Steelers
their full
do.
logo on.
They do have it. They do have it.
Interesting.
Jaguars definitely. Colts,
Interesting.
Texans.
I try to go through divisions now.
I know. I'm working through all the divisions as well. I just definitely have it. Right. Vikings. The
Vikings,
Vikings
won,
just have
yeah.
the horns.
Vikings is one, yeah.
Yeah, they just have the horns, man. We've got to get the last one now.
Dang.
Trying to do this without looking at a thing is tough.
I'm not gonna lie, there might only be
4.
4.
It's a trick question.
Yeah, it might be a quick trick question.
Very good.
Just trying to think, what was the other one? 'Cause
So who was it? The Vikings, the Rams, the Browns, and who was the other one?
Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah, see the Eagles. Yeah, I would not have thought.
Fair
The
enough.
I only got it because we watched them last night.
the Bengals traditional helmet is the one with the like
the Bengals
tiger
don't.
print.
The Bengals don't have the B. Yes, that's right. The Bengals only have.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's the
It's a
Bengals.
tiger.
It is
It's a,
5.
it's a tiger print.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is 5.
There you go. I did actually. I had to look at an actual thing of helmets for that, but there you go. So cool.
There you go.
Yeah,
like
that's a good
that.
one.
Nice one.
Like that
Very
one.
good.
Yeah, the Eagles. I never thought of the Eagles had
Like, there's
wing.
one that just catch you out, isn't there? That it's just like,
Yeah.
where's that one come from?
Great.
Nice. Good little facts. Cool
Nice.
beans, guys.
Well,
Right.
that was a good show.
Yeah, that's good.
Nathan,
See
make me the
yous-
little circle at the
See you
bottom and I'll
next
go.
week.
And that's all, folks.